welcome to the Fitness After 40 podcast. I'm your host here, Josh Proch. I'm along with my wife and business partner, Tammy Proch here. And then we have a guest here, Michele. How do you say your last name? Because I'm going to butcher it. We always call her MBV or Michele BV. So.
Bosiljevac-Vaglia.
Okay.
That's a mouthful.
So we're here with her today, and she is going to just talk a little bit. We're going to talk to her about her experience in the gym, how fitness has changed her life, and kind of what fitness means to her a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I hope you guys enjoy today's episode. So Michele, Tim and I were kind of talking just on our way in here today about what we were kind of going to talk to you about and mm-hmm. things like that. And I was telling her, I said, I remember when you came in or you called in the first time, I think it was someone at the front, it might have been Courtney or so that you talked to, and they were just saying, they're like, she said she's tried a lot of different things. She's kind of like, this is like her last attempt or ditch effort or whatever with that. So I guess we'll kind of start there because it's kind of at the beginning and then just progress up to where we are now. So
well, you probably don't even know more about the history of how I found you guys. I don't know. My son, Nick, used to be an elite Spartan racer.
Okay.
So I went to one of his races here in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And I think it was up in a mountain somewhere, I don't know. And what he does is the elite races, so he runs first early in the morning. Okay. So I watched him when he started off. And then I walked around the like grounds, I guess you say, where they had the tents and everything up. And I saw this group standing there with a T-shirt. And on the T-shirt, it said Pittsburgh North Fitness.
No way.
You probably don't even know that.
No, I didn't know that.
So I looked at them. I was really curious. And I didn't actually go up and talk to anyone, but I thought, God, what is this? Because it was intriguing that mm-hmm. this is Pittsburgh North Fitness, and there's a group of people that were going to go run the race, but they were doing the amateur part.
Right.
So when I got home that evening, I went ahead and looked it up, and
wow.
I saw that you guys were located here and in Pittsburgh, which was in Wexford, but I think you were at the old gym.
Okay.
Yeah, you were at the old gym, so I knew where you guys were, but I didn't sign up right away. I kind of I just put you in the back of my mind, and then I was still doing other things like the YMCA and just other gyms where you walk in, you do whatever they teach you some stuff, but there's nobody really there. And then it got to the point where I really needed help. I didn't know. This was just not working. I could go into that gym, I can run like at the YMCA, around the track, then I can go and do a few things on the machines, but there was no one really guiding me. So that's whenever I made the call and Courtney answered. So that's how the history.
I didn't know that.
No, I did not know that either.
Yeah.
Was it the one up towards Latrobe, or was it the one that was out towards Wampum?
Wait a minute, which is the one? Was there? I think it was
Pulaski?
Was it a ski resort?
Oh.
The ski hill. I think it was there. Is there something in Laurel Hill?
Yes, it was that one out there.
Yeah,
that was the one that I went to.
Okay, the first
did.
one.
I think there was like 6 of us.
There was
that
a small
did it.
group.
And then the year after that, they didn't do it.
Was Simon involved with that?
Simon was there, so it was like me,
Okay.
Simon, Courtney. I think Paul Pusateri.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Carol Skanga, and Bo.
Oh,
I think those were like the 6 that.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. I mean, we were definitely the end of the pack on things. But like, it was just kind of like, we were just having fun going through that day. But the next year they did it, and it was out in Wampum, and I think we were out, like we were away that weekend that they did it, but they had a bigger group that Simon kind of headed up and took out there. But I want to say they got like 20 people or so for that. So.
Well, maybe, where's Wampum at? Where's that?
Like Beaver.
Oh, no.
It was in the mines.
Okay, no.
This
This was definitely, we drove to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to drive out to it.
You know what? I think it was an old, it's actually, Seven Springs just bought it. It used to be it was a ski resort, but it was closed at the time, and now it's Laurel Highlands, whatever it's called, ski resort now.
Something like that. I think it was it. But that was, and the thing is, it pays to advertise. I might have only been the one person that came out of that, but you never know. There could have been somebody else that was in the same situation. I just need help, and I didn't know where else to turn, and that's how I ended up with you guys.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a cool
and you know,
story.
I kept you in the back of my mind, even
Yeah.
after all of that time, and it was just like, okay. And then I got Courtney on the phone. It might have been different if I would have approached them when I was there, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe I would have started sooner. But it was just something that, you know,
Yeah.
I had to be so fed up with myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't get anywhere with it, and it just was not helping.
Right.
So you guys were my, what is that, the thing, a lifeline?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
my lifeline
Yeah.
for it. So.
So yeah, tell us just a little bit about, you know, it's been, I think, almost 5 years, probably
No,
now.
I think this is
four.
four,
Four,
and 1
okay.
year off with COVID.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
so-
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, the COVID time kind of like screwed
Yeah.
everything up a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
So tell us a little bit just about, you know, the changes you've seen. You know, even I guess it would be before COVID, and when you were working and traveling a lot, which you're going back to here pretty soon. But just you were coming in like on Thursday nights and getting 2 or 3 workouts just kind of back to back, and still got really good results that way.
Yes.
Which is, you know, is really interesting, because a lot of times people will be like, if I only have like 1 or 2 days, or I'm traveling a lot through the week, I can't. There's no point in doing it. But you did it, and they're like, and prove that you can, you will change. You just have to kind of commit to it.
Yeah, so the big thing that I definitely have to say is the loss of weight. I mean, I lost 35 pounds, which has to say a
Awesome.
lot. And I'm a senior citizen, so I'm 66 years old, which is really hard to lose weight. It really is hard to lose weight. So taking that weight off was the biggest burden. And it was, I mean, the greatest thing that happened to me. That was always like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get rid of this weight? But the thing that's interesting too now, on the same plane with that, I'm no longer watching my weight. I'm watching my body composition now.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm watching my body composition is because you guys have taught me the difference between fat and muscle. So when I was well, I'm back to traveling now. This is my first week. But when I was traveling pre-COVID, the hardest part was, what was I eating? How was I eating? Well, how can I exercise when I'm on the road? In which you guys also helped me with that. When I came into town, like I flew back home on Thursdays and then come in on Fridays and Saturdays, and I would double up, which really helped me, because then I still had my fitness, because the hotel gyms are horrible. But I could get my, you know, I could do the treadmill when I was there and some free weights, but then I was still getting the stuff that I wanted to do to progress, to get the muscle mass. So for me, it was, how do I eat well, you know, when I'm on the road? And that's whenever I started doing some of these gene things and that, and we got down to, okay, I started intermittent fasting. And then I also then went on to the keto diet that really, really helped. And then I changed, once I lost the weight, you helped me to go to a modified keto, but I'm still intermittent fasting. It's interesting because I do not miss breakfast at all.
Yes.
Before, you know, it was a big thing, and I think that's the reason why all my weight was staying steady, is because I was eating all these heavy meals and just not, you know, getting the exercise in that I should be, and my heart rate up. So now changing all of that has now given me balance. So I'm more apt to watch what I eat when I'm on the road. I know that there's only certain things, like I try to avoid all fast food, and that's because I think that's a detrimental thing. Or if I have to eat fast food, it's a salad, and it's because of the salad challenge that we have. See, it all intertwines.
Yeah.
I mean, you learn something, and it just all intertwines with that. So doing a month of salads with you guys, now when I'm on the road, I look at that first. If I have to eat somewhere where I know I'm not going to get a very good meal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on top of that, my intermittent fasting has really helped. I drink a lot of water. That also helps me keep that 35 pounds off, even though I am moving up and down, and my, you know, my muscle is getting higher and higher, my fat is going lower. I may be staying steady at a weight that I didn't want. I was like, should I really stay at this weight? And it's a healthy weight, so
Yeah.
Right.
stay there, you know.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not really like like it used to be every day on the scale watching it. I don't do that now.
That's good.
Yeah, I just do the in-bodies once a month, which really helps me, and I stay steady, or I might lose something, or I might gain more muscle, and it makes me really happy.
Good.
Well, you're such a role model too for people, because we all find excuses, right? Why we can't do this, why we can't do that. But for someone like you who truly ate out almost all week because you didn't have a choice, you weren't home, and trying to really make an effort and make it a priority to find healthy option, as healthy as you can.
Right.
And you can get a chicken breast at a restaurant, but it can be pumped full of butter or salt, or you just don't know what's going into it.
Yeah.
And that you got as good results as you did with your limited workout schedule, not your own liking, but because you had to, and your food. I mean, that's just, you should be very proud.
Oh, thank you.
You should be very proud.
And whenever we came, I think it was right before pre-COVID, we finished off a jeans something like that. We were doing the jeans.
Like to drop 2 sizes.
And when I dropped all those sizes and all that stuff, and that's whenever you guys stated to me at that time, you thought that I could move on to a more personal training type, which I think has also helped me 100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, I got the workouts that are mine. I know what I'm doing, what I'm working on. You help me, like, okay, I want to thin this out. I want to do this. I want to learn how to do chin-ups. I want to, lift heavier weight. And that, I mean, being on the road is going to be detrimental. That this is going to be sad that I'm not going to be able to do those because I'm here 4 days a week.
Right.
Because I want to do, but it's only 13 weeks,
Yeah,
and
right.
1 week
And
is
that'll
done.
fly.
Yeah, 1 week is done. And then today I didn't make it to the gym because I had all kind of paperwork. But next week I'll be here definitely on Fridays and Saturdays.
Good.
Yeah.
And you did it before, so
Correct.
you can do it again.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's the encouragement I need. Thank you.
Yes.
And I was going to throw something in too, just
Yeah.
for people listening about the salad challenge. It wasn't just salads for a month on there. So I know some people listening, they're probably like, oh, I'm just going to eat salad. But no. It was one big ass salad a day that people had to eat with that. So just to clear that up.
That was a good point.
But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I know someone's listening to this and thinking that. So. Another thing that kind of that you mentioned there, I want you to kind of build on a little bit, is the program and how having your own workouts and building that 4 week block where you're like it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever set up that way. Because a lot of people they think or they like to have things constantly changing, and they feel that sometimes is better, but it's really not. And we we'd really try to educate about that. But if you can talk about that, like how what you noticed from week 1 to week 4 being on the same with how things were progressing.
Well, I will tell you, I love the workout that way. I think that's definitely the way that people should go.
Absolutely.
I mean, they really should go because it's personalized, number one, to me and my body. Yeah, I see everybody out there doing the other workouts, which is probably good for them, but it changes every day, and it's not the same thing. Whereas now my workout is 4 week blocks, and I have 3 days in the 4 weeks. In the 3 days in the 4 weeks, that day is repeated 4 times through the weeks, but it's a steady workout. Arms, chest, I'm doing abs, but I know that I'm working and focusing on what I want, and I can build. So when I start week 1, which is really nice, people, like, I have made incredible progress, I will say. I now have a personal best, and I don't know if Josh told you or not that I started out with doing like dead weights with just not even like with kettlebells, and originally, so now we're like go 6 months fast forward or 2 today, I am now lifting 130 pounds.
To give you guys a little bit of reference on that, she was probably around like a 24, 28 kilo kettlebell, which is about 55 to 62 pounds there. And 6 months later, we're doing 135 coming off the floor.
Because I was supposed to train you and I got benched.
Okay.
But I set up your barbell and I put, it was 125. I was going to ask you if you wanted to try to go up. So that's awesome. Congrats.
It's really crazy to think that, because when people even hear that I can lift that, they're like, no. And I'm like, yes, I lift it 3, I do, 5 reps.
5 reps, 4 times.
4
times, yeah.
Yeah, 4 times. So I do 5 reps. I rest for 2 minutes, and I do another 5 reps. And I'm lifting this heavy weight, and they just, no, that's not happening. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of people muddy the waters too, because they're like, well, 2-minute break, my heart rate comes down. But this is not what we're not doing a cardio workout. It's not about the cardio in this workout. It's
Correct.
about, and so you need that rest, because otherwise, if you were doing jumping jacks on your rest period, so your heart rate didn't come down,
yeah.
would you be able to get 4 sets of that? Probably not. You know, you need that rest.
And the other thing too, when the weight gets heavy,
Oh,
the
yeah.
heart rate comes
Goes
up.
up.
I mean, you stop and it spikes.
Yeah.
And it does, because
you know-
I wear a belt, because I wear the belt and I see that, and it shows me at my workouts after I'm done, and I can see where I'm spiking up when
Yep.
I'm lifting, even though it's the reps only 5 or 4 or 5, it's heavy, and I'm really breathing, setting, pushing, you know, and
Yes.
I'm just lifting,
Yeah.
and then you can see how it spikes.
Right.
Yeah. It is interesting when you look at the heart rate monitor, you know, with that versus doing like a boot camp or something like that. At the end, it's basically the same kind of outputs. There's just, you know, the strength one's going to have these high peaks and then these lows. But when you look at like the average heart rate across, you're at the same place, with everything, you know. So I don't think a lot of people realize that when they're doing it. And I guess with the programming too, like it's, if you're not able to commit into like these are the days I'm going to come and regular with that, where it's a little bit more, you know, I'm able to get in 2 days a week, but I don't know what days those are going to be and stuff like that. Then having that workout a day, it works. I would say probably works a little bit better for those people. So it is depending on the person. But if you know someone that's able to come in, you know, 3-4 days a week regularly, I mean, we definitely plan the program out.
yeah.
You know, if you're looking for general fitness, that workout of the day is perfectly fine. But for someone who has goals and really wants to chase them, absolutely.
And getting back to the timing, the thing like the rest period, a lot of people don't understand that here in this gym. That like I'm resting, I'm sitting, I'm waiting. And another example of that is the sled pull. On the sled, I was pulling 225 pounds. And I'm slowing. I slowly pull it, and everybody's like yelling, "Faster, faster, faster!" And I'm like, "No!" And then Kevin's like, "No!" She did, you know. And she's 1, 2, you know, and I'm pulling, you know, and it's like my legs are burning, they're on fire, and I'm going slow. If I were to go fast, I don't think I would get what I was getting.
Momentum.
Right.
No, and you'd end up having to have, you know, 45, 90 pounds, something. You wouldn't have nearly as much weight on there, and it's just different. But there's such a, I think the population or whatever, they just believe I've got to have my heart rate up, I've got to be killing myself, and I think what they see is everything that's out there, like in the media and on TV. They just see all this like hard ass like shit that's just like, you know. It's not how people work out. And they even like I think it was a Penguins game a couple years ago I was watching, and they were showing one of the players like his workout, and you know there's box jumps and he's pushing sleds, and it looked, and he's got the ropes, it looks like he's moving like fast through this, but what you have to stop is this is like a 20-second clip of the highlights of his thing. He's not just, you know, running around like a crazy person going from thing to thing. He's doing there's rest periods. That's how these athletes are actually training. And that's not to say there's not times where they're not going, you know, fast, but they're doing it at there's a different goal with that. But yeah, everything that we see, we were talking about the new, Peloton commercials. You know, they're like on the thing, and they're like, all right, onto the mat for some strength. And she's got like a 5-pound dumbbell she's doing snatches with. It's like, that's not strength. And then she's like, you know, doing the lunges and like twirling it around her head. Like, it looks cool. I mean, it makes for a great commercial. But that's not strength. It's just cardio with weights. Like, is all that it really is.
And cardio is not bad. There's definitely a place for it. Because you do boot camp sometimes too for cardio. It has a lot of benefits. But people just blurred the two. And you know, what I think got you such great results is your strength day, you're focused on strength. Boot camp, the weights are a little bit lighter. You're going a little bit faster. It's just a different training.
And it's interesting because when I do boot camp, there are people that are lifting the gray kettlebell. I don't know how much, but I'm down at the green. Because, you know, the reason is I'm not lifting it for strength in this point. I'm going for the cardio. So I'm doing lighter weights so I get more reps in. I move forward. But if I'm on my weight day, oh, that's different. You
Right.
know, I am lifting heavy weights and I am taking my time.
Yeah.
So there is a difference.
There
People
is.
don't realize
And
that.
I think it's just like it's our culture right now. We've just
Yeah.
muddied the waters with
So much.
with
And I think that's why
everything.
people get hurt too, because they try to in
Absolutely.
boot camps to go too heavy
Oh.
with when it's just supposed to be more reps, not the
Right.
weight itself.
Yeah.
And you watch them whenever they're doing it, it's like, I'm so afraid sometimes when they're swinging the gray kettlebell that they're going to throw it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because seriously, we're sweating. You're,
Yeah.
well, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
The good news with that, if you throw it, you have to try. If it just slips out,
Yeah,
it kind of comes up
and
and straight back.
Yeah.
It's like maybe
You gotta
3
watch your
feet out
toes
from
if
you.
it
Yeah.
comes down, but yeah.
Like if you hit the person like 10 feet away,
Right.
you were trying
Oh,
to hit
okay,
them.
good, 'cause that's good to know that, because
Yes.
I'm always watching, I'm like, whoa, there's a lot
Yeah,
there. But-
because we've had it happen a couple times just in our workouts.
You almost killed
where-
our dog that
Yeah, I
way.
almost killed a dog the one day. I was doing kettlebell cleans,
Yeah.
and I was just doing like hand-to-hand switches, and it was on. We were doing what, like 30 seconds on, 30 off, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was just on my switch. I didn't get my hand the whole way, like my fingers all bent. So and I pulled it up. Well, it slipped out. He's laying on the floor. It missed. I mean, it missed his head probably by a foot, but,
But
you know,
still
it looked
scary
pretty.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, so you know.
So you know, and that stuff can happen,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
goes
but-
straight back
So if you
down.
work out from home, that's the lesson.
That's-
Watch
that's
your
your-
furries.
Watch your dog. Yeah. So, well, what's something that you're able to do now, or what's something that you're doing now that you never would have done before working out and getting back in shape? And this is something more like not necessarily in the gym, but in life in general.
Number one, I'm fitting into really nice clothes.
Nice, nice.
Wearing heels before, that used to hurt, and I dance almost every other Saturday now, which I
Good.
hadn't done before. So that's a real positive. And when I'm dancing, I don't get short of breath because because I've lost all that weight. On top of that, running on the treadmill, I used to hate that so bad because I just could not. It was just I don't know. What's the word I want to use for a trial? I don't know to do it. Now getting on the treadmill and running is very, very easy for me too, which before I couldn't do. So I'm getting more out too in the community and doing longer walks.
Nice.
I'm doing little runs. I do have one other gym partner here, and we meet every Sunday, which we haven't done for the couple Sundays here, but out North Park and do 6.5 miles around the
Good.
lake.
Awesome.
Which is really good. And between, I think last year during COVID, we did it a lot. So we would walk and run, which we could not do before.
Right.
So, so things are
That's
really positive in my life due to the
Good.
fact I have a better body image too compared to what I did 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty sad. Yeah,
Very
pretty
good.
sad. Yeah, but
Yeah.
good.
Do you have any questions that you want to ask her? Anything that?
I would say what was the switch that finally clicked to make you call us? Like I know you said you kind of put it in the back of your brain. Like
Yeah.
what happened to try to? Because I know that's a very common thing. I mean, it's nerve-wracking to walk in a gym. You think you're gonna walk in, everyone's in little booty shorts and sports bras, and they're like stick figure, and it's like, but we're just all real people here. We come in all shapes and sizes. So
Yeah.
what kind of made you comfortable to finally call and say, hey, I'm ready?
I think it was the fact of the matter I was just so out of shape even though I was at a gym.
Okay.
And being at a gym and working out, what I need to do is get in shape. And there was no help there. And that's the only thing. I needed help.
Okay.
And I think that's the switch that when I went there, and it was sort of like they sit at a desk, meaning the so-called trainers are at a desk, and they, you can go up, and it's if you have a question, they'll help you with a piece of equipment. But they don't give you pointers. And I think that was the reason why I was just so fed up with it that I needed help. And that's where you guys came in. And I don't even know why. I thought it was a different type of gym, and I think at the time too it was like you weren't really saying fitness over 40, but you were definitely gearing it to, I don't want to say the elderly population,
Yeah.
but it made me even more comfortable coming in here when I did the first time because there's people like me here.
Right.
You know?
And it's funny because when we started doing our marketing for that, you Google fitness after 40, whatever, and you get like someone that it looks very elderly in a chair with pink dumbbells. And
That's
I'm not
right.
knocking that, but I'm just saying, like, that's
Correct.
not what fitness
No.
after 40. We still work out really hard. But
Very, very hard.
You drop that into a Google search and you get like chair aerobics.
Yeah.
I mean, you,
There
and
isn't. No.
like
Yeah.
when we first, like you were saying, we're trying to find just some images for like
Yeah.
ads and stuff, and you just get like really
water aerobics and
old
like
looking
chair
people
aerobics.
and stuff like that, and it's just not the
And if that's right for you, I'm not knocking that, but I'm just saying, like,
Correct.
we can also still work out hard.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
need a little recovery, I think, a little more recovery than we used to.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We come in different shapes and sizes.
Yes.
I will tell you, there are some very thin people here that are still very, very weak.
Yes.
So they don't have the muscle mass.
Mhm.
There's some of us that are kind of like middle of the road that are trying to get rid of that extra weight and put on the extra muscle. And then there's those of us that are like really focused on, I have to lose this weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you guys work with each and every one of us. You help us in different ways because you gear it to the skinny weak, the medium trying to be much more stronger, the person that's really trying to focus on dropping all that weight.
It's interesting, since COVID, we've seen, really since this past April, we've seen a lot more people coming in that are, they're thin, like they're not
Correct.
overweight, but they're coming in and they're, I ask them, what brings you in today? And their answer is like, I want to be stronger. They're like, I'm not strong. And we've seen a lot more of a health conscious,
Versus body image,
vers-
which is
yeah.
great.
Great.
And it's really, it's great because one, those goals are much easier to help someone achieve because you just get them started going, where weight loss is tough. I mean, and you've done really well with it, but it's extremely tough
Yeah.
because
Tough.
we see you a couple hours a week. We can't control the food you eat. We can't control the sleep. We can't control all these other factors. And then there's hormones. There's all kinds of stuff that play into that. So it's very challenging, but from a health standpoint and a strength standpoint and moving, it's, getting started and things like that. And we're seeing more and more people that I just want to be healthy. So I think that's something positive that's come out of the
Absolutely.
pandemic,
Right.
that it's not about being a size 2 and it's as much anymore. and
Exactly,
things like
because there's
that.
some of
So-
us, like I will never be a size 2 unless I'm sick, and
Yeah.
then it's just we're not all built to be 110
Correct.
size 2,
Yeah.
so
Right.
that doesn't mean we're not strong and healthy. But
Yeah.
and let's be honest, Michelle, the only thing you come here for is Kevin's really bad dad jokes. No other gym gives you that.
No, and some of them I have to think about first, and I'm like, oh my God,
I
that is
know.
so funny, to do that. That is true. I do come here for his dad jokes.
They're so bad, and then they're funny because
He
they're
tickles
so
himself
bad.
more than half
Yeah.
the members, I think.
It's so entertaining. I was
Yeah.
like, I
And
got
it's-
one for you. Yeah, okay, let's hear it.
I don't even
Yeah.
know how that got started,
I
but
don't know either.
sometimes we'll be sitting up here and we just groan when we hear
Yeah.
those. We're like,
Yeah.
oh.
His sisters get so annoyed.
Do
with it,
they
too.
really?
Yeah.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I was saying.
Before we go, is there anything else that you want to say?
I was going to say, just one thing before we wrap up is this place is a community. I just want to let you know. This is wonderful. I have made some absolutely wonderful friends here, and we all have a common, kind of thing. We come here to work out, but at the same time, we are social, and it has turned out really, really nice. And I think it's because the atmosphere that you guys create here that helps with everybody else, like, oh, who's going to be working out with me today?
Yeah.
And then when we find out who's there, hey, hi, Lisa. Hi. And, we all, and then we talk for a few minutes and get down, but it's, to what we're supposed to be doing. But it really, truly is a community, and I'm really glad that I found you.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah. So, and any time I can talk to anybody else, Linda, the new gal, the blonde. It was like, I'm sorry, not Linda, Barb, the blonde.
Yes.
Like it was. I met her at dancing.
Yeah.
And I also do other thing where we get together for dinners and stuff like that. And I met her through that, and it was just like talking about the gym. And I told her, you really need to see. This is a different type of place. You've got to come in. A lot of people kind of like, and I'm like, no, this is different. You need to experience it. And not only just the trainers, but also the people that come here.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and rate and review us.